So, one part of this golden age of TV is serialization. Like it's like no one can argue that Breaking Bad wasn't a great show. Well, someone can, I'm sure.
Who is that person? Roger Goodell?
Roger.
That guy's an ass. He probably doesn't like Breaking Bad either.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to push back, right? But anyways, I'm saying like that's a clue. I mean, there's no more serialized show. I mean, he just did Macbeth over 5 years and slowly spiraled this character into this beautiful demise.
Yeah.
Spoilers, but he breaks bad and then it gets worse. But so here's me, and it's not just because I'm a sitcom guy. I don't think. Like I have this like. Is my aversion to serialization, is my view of serialization as a crutch, as bad craftsmanship, is that now officially a hang up that I have? Do I need to let that go? George R.R. Martin is in the back there.
What is it specifically about the serialization?
It feels like cheating because I grew up in the 80s on TV that was like so supremely crafted. No matter how dumb it was like there was a sense of craftsmanship. Nobody in Cheers ever made they picked up a Rubik's cube and like because it was in the headlines that week. It was like. I'm sure it's not like the shows aren't dated, but there was also the attempt was for timelessness, and the attempt was for perfect modularity usually. And then it's that shark jumping thing, or the actual etymology of shark jumping being from serialization. When these shows start to get desperate, they start saying to be continued. And I guess that's the association I make. It's like you're starting to. I started to feel like when the internet really started to threaten TV, that's when we saw TV start to do like really quickly. It was all this like what I regard as a dirty trick on the audience to throw some weird nonsensical thing at the end of an episode and then go, huh? Now what are you gonna watch next week? And it feels like you're holding them hostage. It's not the same as Breaking Bad, which is like but I've always people have heard me rant about. Everything I've ever ranted about that makes sense to me, Breaking Bad broke that rule and did it well.
I mean, I think the difference is now that because of the way we now watch TV, you can watch it back to back. And back in the day, before DVRs, before streaming, you missed episodes. No one watched an entire run of any series because you might be out 1 week, you might miss a couple episodes, so they had to be kind of self-contained so you could jump in and out. And now you don't have to do that.
Right.
Most shows, if you really like a show, you are going to watch every episode. So in a way, that kind of rewards the fans who want to sort of get to know these characters and who want to go on this journey with these people. So I don't, I think there's something for everyone. There's, what's weird is even though all these shows now are serialized, Shonda Rhimes is making billions out of serialization. But then you also have Dick Wolf, who suddenly has 4 shows on the air this fall. All of those shows are actually still self-contained. They all take place in Chicago. So if you like Fire, then you got one. If you like Med, you got one. If you like PD, you got one. That's much more like the serial style of pick whichever cereal you like, pick it up and buy it.
Do you think Dick Wolf's still actively making TV, or do you think he's like in a glass coffin? Has anyone ever seen him? I think he's under Mount Rushmore, like, and the people are like fanning him or like pumping fluid into some kind of chamber, and there's like I don't even think there's scripts coming out. I think it's just like some young writer comes in and smears some of the embalming fluid on his face like war paint and goes. And then he charges out on a horse to a typewriter and creates a new Law and Order. Dick Wolf. Please note, I'm still saying Dick Wolf is a very valuable player in the television industry. There is a contribution there. I just think it's more spiritual and ritualistic, probably.
He's making a lot of money. He is out there. He's kind of the master of it all.
Yeah.
You're not going to get me to poo-poo all over Dick Wolf.
Oh man, are you kidding me? I hope my work speaks for itself. I've made love to Dick Wolf several occasions. Also, I think how much of it is his
I hope
name?
not during SVU though.
No.
Just please not during SVU.
how much is his name though? Because it's like perfect that the episodes end with just like he hung himself while masturbating, and then it just says Dick Wolf. Like it's like such a visceral. It's like a mic drop. It's like ow, Dick Wolf.
Dick Wolf before he dicks you.
It would be too on the nose to if it was the other, if it was Wolf Dick, then you'd be like, this is childish. But it still looks like a name, but you're getting all those ingredients. It's like Dick Wolf.
Pretty strong, right?
Yeah, strong. Yeah, it sends the subliminal signal. This is I just watched a strong show.
Yes.
That overreacts to the moon. I've reached a verdict. It's me. It's a hang-up of mine for a bad reason. In childhood, I was watching television that was produced by people that were much like the people producing features today. They were afraid to engage the audience too much narratively because it was ratings poison.
Yeah.
And that's not craftsmanship. That's corporate just manufacturing, and I grew up in that world, but that's like me saying, like, I don't know, is it me or is Lucky Charms better than filet mignon? Like, I was like, come on, don't be a dope. Like, I mean, I'm no foodie, but it's like, yeah, like.
I think because back when we were growing up, those serialized episodes were pretty cheesy, pretty bad. Sort of find out next week whether or not Gordon Jump actually is molesting Dudley.
Right. They were death rattles of desperate shows, like, and it was sad to see previous shows that a few weeks earlier had cultural efficacy, and now you're watching them wheeze and cough and like to tell you like I remember Different Strokes was like, man, it had a lot of death rattles. Like there was that molestation episode, and then there was Dudley and Arnold both got locked inside a car on the Knight Rider set. They were visiting Knight Rider because fuck it, and because someone was just looking out the window in the Different Strokes writers' room, and then they looked at the clock, and they were like, "What if he went over there?"
NBC Synergy,
Home by 3 Productions. It was so ridiculous because Arnold he visited Knight Rider, talked to Knight Rider, which I think they maintained within the fabric of the show that Knight Rider and Kit is an actual talking car. I'm okay with that because it's like, hey,
it's canon.
But
Different Strokes canon.
Then he like goes into a car. I don't think it was Kit. It was a different car, and he gets locked in the car. That's not even possible. And then 2 crew hands like walk up and go, hey, should I move this car? I'm like, no, what are you, crazy? That's the car we're going to blow up in the next scene. And the audience goes, oh. Like they had the same reaction as they did to Dudley getting molested. That's the car they're gonna blow up. Like, this is not how Hollywood works. What is this, the Flintstones? All right. Anyways, cars don't talk. I'm Andy Rudy.
Remember there was the sitcom template where there was always the episode where someone got trapped in something and they possibly were going to die. So on Punky Brewster, her friend, remember, got caught, stuck in the refrigerator. Yeah. Of course, we all remember the Three's Company episode where they were stuck in that freezer and they could have died. So it was like number 72 on the list of sitcom tropes that everyone had to do at some point.
It was a simpler world. The Incredible Hulk won an Emmy for Best Dramatic Series.
Simpler time.
I think, and Lindsay Wagner, was that her name? I think she got an Emmy for Best Actress in a dramatic series for Bionic Woman. Anyways.